So we've seen times when we need to isolate variables in order to solve equations, solve problems. In fact, on the previous problem, if you look at what we did, in that whole problem, what was our strategy? We basically isolated A in this equation in order to, no, yeah, we isolated A so that we could use it for substitution. So they're asking us here in problem 15 to isolate a particular variable in several different equations. And in fact, in the first one, they're asking us to isolate this variable d. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do. In the second equation, they're asking us to isolate the q. And in this third one, they're asking us to isolate this variable n. So I think the first one's probably the most involved of the three. If I want to isolate d, I would most definitely, well, I guess I could do it another way too, but I'm going to subtract 18 from each side. So this is a capital I. So I minus 18 is equal to 3/4, and that's off screen, sorry, 3/4 m times d. Um, I want to get rid of the 3/4, and I want to do that in a separate step. So to do that, I'm going to multiply both sides by 4/3. So this side's going to get multiplied by 4/3. And I think you can see why I'm multiplying this side by 4/3. If I do that, this becomes 12 over 12. So I end up getting just the number 1 in front of my MD there, right? If I wrote it out a two-step, 4 times 3 is 12 over 3 times 4 is 12 times MD. So what I have here is 1 times MD. So MD is alone. On the other side, I still have this 4/3 times I minus 18 in parentheses. And then I guess if I want to get D alone, I'm just going to divide both sides by M. And honestly, that's probably a fine answer. It's not necessarily the answer that the textbook has, but it's certainly equivalent to it. We could distribute the 4/3 and do several things to make this look different. Or we could leave it like this. So I'm just going to leave it as 4/3 times the quantity of I minus 18 all over M. If you have something that you suspect is different, but it's different, but you suspect it's correct also, show me your answer and I'll look at it and we'll see if we can figure out that it's equivalent to this, because there's a lot of different ways I could write this answer. The next one is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to take away 25p from both sides. So if I want to get q alone, it's going to be a capital S minus 25p will be q, right? So just by moving that, I didn't write the 25 very well, 25p. But just by subtracting the 25p from each side, q is alone. So this is my answer for part B, and this is my answer for part A. I should write over here, it's D. And then the final one here, in order to solve this for n, I'm just going to divide both sides by RT. So you can see the left-hand side was a PV. I'm going to divide that by RT. And when I divide the other side, nRT by RT, I end up with just n. So PV over RT is n.